Choosing your partner, you're going to lose some folks, but the solid people are going to stick around. God made this union happen. Don't even think about trying to tear it apart. For years, I was lost in life searching for answers, with only one goal: create a strong legacy. To do this, I must become someone else. I must become something else. Welcome back. I'm Drew Cameron, and this is the ATD Chronicles, where I dive deep into the ATD letter that goes out every Saturday to help you engineer tools to attack the day. Does any of this sound familiar? I want a divorce. I'm tired of being married. I think I chose the wrong person. Let me tell you, I've said those things to myself. I don't want to lie. I don't think I've ever told them to my wife before, but I definitely thought them before. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you have actually said it, before out loud. So you think marriage is a walk in the park? Think again. So after 13 years, I can say with no question that bodybuilding competitions, multiple deployments, traveling cross country, car accidents, the birth of all three of my children, changing careers, none of that even holds a candle or a torch to marriage. Now, I wouldn't trade any of those experiences I've had in my marriage for nothing. It's all taught me a lot of life lessons. The most important lesson I've learned is through marriage. So on this voyage, on this journey, it's a lot of trials and tribulation, a lot of ups and downs, you know what I mean? And it's not for the faint at heart. It's not easy at all. And anybody that says it is lying. I don't care if you the most spiritual, biblical person. I don't care if you read all the self-help books about marriage or none of that. Like, it's a struggle at times. When it's good, it's good. When it's bad, it's bad. Wouldn't trade it for nothing. My queen, we just celebrated 13 years of marriage. And at the end of this video, I'm going to give you 13 things that can help you. But I want to smash through some of these myths of the perfect marriage. In today's world, we're bombarded with tons of messages, visuals of the perfect marriage and what that's supposed to look like. So TV and social media make it look like all the trips, to Bali, the trips to beautiful cabins and, buying your girl a nice whip of Benz or whatever the case may be. That's what marriage is about, right? That the marriage is about the gifts and giving all these accolades and acknowledgments and affirmations, and they just make it seem like a fairy tale, but it's not. So we all got those friends or that couple, or you may have even done it before where, like you'll go somewhere, you'll kick it. Maybe you just move into the neighborhood and you got that new couple that comes over who, your wife is just like, hey, I met them. Let's have a date night. Let's kick it, right? And then afterwards, you get why you don't act like him? Oh, you see how he is with his wife? You see how she is with her husband? And we're always comparing. Comparison is the killer of joy, right? Because if you compare your situation to somebody else's, you don't know really what's going on in that house. You don't really know what's going on, but we always looking like the grass is green on the other side, and those fake smiles and all that, attention that they're giving in front of you, and secretly they hate each other. So the myth that has been going around it's wrapped up in a lot of fake insecurities, right? So it tells us that happiness in a marriage is about achieving some level of achievement, whether it be success, appearance, or a lifestyle. Like I said before, like we're led to believe that we got to make 100K, like we both got to make 100K, right? We got to be buying beautiful, expensive gifts. They got to be beautiful. Nobody wants an ugly gift, but they got to be expensive gifts. We got to be taking trips on a regular. We got to have this business. We got to be in shape. We got to make the money, kind of check mark list to have the ideal perfect marriage. And let me tell you right now, that's not sustainable and it's not realistic. I tried to do that. I tried that for years on one end, where I tried to check all those boxes, be everything for my wife. And don't get me wrong, like it's nothing wrong with wanting that to some degree, but you are 100% in charge of your happiness. And so is your spouse, and you're never supposed to lose sight of that. So I've learned in life that it's not short, it's precious. And I hate when people say, oh, life is short. Nah, it's the stupidest thing. Life is not short, it's precious. It's short if you're wasting your time, right? And this is what I'm aiming to do right here, is to help y'all not waste time if you had a relationship or you're about to start a relationship. So I'm always talking about priorities, and you have to have your priorities in order, right? And your priorities shouldn't be gifts and experiences, right? Experiences are cool. They're kind of on that gray area, but those experiences can't come at the sacrifice of killing yourself, working multiple hours just to take these trips, unless that's an agreement that you really want to do. But you got people that are literally forcing themselves to work X amount of hours, overtime, swiping their credit card just to take these trips, just to have these experiences because it's their anniversary or because it's Valentine's Day. The harsh reality here is that we gotta be cherishing the person we're with. So sometimes with all of that, marriage can seem like a dream, but the challenge isn't about avoiding the work. It's about putting in the work. You got to do what's necessary to embrace it. You got to get rid of the trap of the unrealistic expectations. So what if this perspective is not misleading, but flawed? Unspoken rules of adult marriage. Beyond the fairy tale lies the truth. So a healthier and more sustainable marriage hinges on mutual support. So both partners got to have a sense of individuality, but also a sense of oneness. And I know you might like, how you going to have a sense of individuality and be one? And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to show you how to do that. Each partner, biblical sense, they tell you that the wife is supposed to be the helpmate. And I agree, But you also both have to help one another and have to be advisors at times. Now, it's not always easy to take that advice from your spouse or the person that, your partner, but they see things that you don't see, and that's how you're able to get ahead. So I know I had a problem a lot of times, like trying to be a fixer. As a man, my whole channel was built on fixing problems, building blueprints, and creating solutions, right? So it's hard to turn that off. And sometimes, the person you're with doesn't need a solution. You got to know when to put the sword down and just be the shoulder to cry on. Just be the person to let them vent. And I don't really like the word vent because I'm a solution-based person, right? But sometimes getting that out, the person will find the answers, and it's just a matter of needing someone to talk it out with. The main thing is making sure that you recognize that you be there for one another. You're right. So there's a song by Joel Santana, Hey Ma, and it got me to thinking about some of the characteristics that you need in a relationship, especially as a leader of that household. So I'm gonna go through them real quick. So you need some core values: politeness, manners, chivalry, nurturing, protection, provisions, financial, and emotional. So these are foundational for an enduring, strong partnership. So these will allow you to be a strong, nurturing leader. And that's what the name of the game is: strong, nurturing leader. So how you do that is you need openness and honesty. And that's the clear way to be in the right direction, right? But you got to be careful, because if being open and honest, it's hard sometimes to be open and honest. And that's what I had a problem with telling my wife, telling my partner what I didn't like, because I didn't want to be the bearer of bad news, but that was putting holes in my boat of marriage because I wasn't communicating. You got my wife going around here thinking her stuff don't stink, and I ain't saying nothing because, well, I'm a man. I'm supposed to be strong. I'm not supposed to say nothing. Now, I'm not trying to sit up here and complain, because I'm not a complainer, but at times I needed to voice my opinion and voice what I didn't like. Otherwise, I wouldn't be heard and I wouldn't be respected. So a good book that'll help with that is Love and Respect. I forgot who it's by, but it goes over what a man needs and what a woman needs. And with that individuality there, it'll help you to get in a better situation for your relationship. In my 13 years of marriage, transparency has been a major key in catapulting us like tenfold into the future of our relationship, where we don't have some of the same issues and constraints that we had before, because we're being so transparent. I recognize and I understand maybe what's going on with her. There's no gaslighting, no adding fuel to the fire of, staying complacent or not moving and progressing the way we should. Like I said, with that individuality, you got to understand that marriage, there are parts that you have to be on a solitary journey, and that solitary journey will ultimately bring you and point you in the right direction. by you working on yourself and them working on their self, you ultimately are reaching towards a goal. So having a goal in mind allows you to meet your standards and reach what you need to do to get to the next level, and it allows them to do the same. You want to have a marriage level up. So these are 13 game-changing moves to transform your union. So daily affection, commit to expressing love daily through kisses, touches, and affectional gestures. So always be touching on one another, always be showing affection. Uninterrupted conversation. Dedicate at least 15 minutes each day to undistracted conversation. So this makes sure that you have empathy towards one another. You know what one another has going on. You know, I'm sorry to say, kick the kids out the room. They'll be okay for 15 minutes. Put them to the side. Anybody. If you don't have kids, if it's your job, if it's your entrepreneur and you got other things going on, whatever your other responsibilities are, push them to the side. Make sure you slot 15 minutes aside for you to have some dialogue with your spouse. Number 3, weekly dates. I can't stress this enough. No matter what, you need to be going on a weekly date, something that signifies that you put in forth some real effort towards the relationship. You don't have to go out the house. You can do a Netflix and chill, but let's be honest, don't just get straight to what Netflix and chill has become about. Actually spend the time to enjoy one another, talk, you know what I mean? Make a charcuterie board, have some wine, some chocolates, you know, wine and dine one another, you know, give massages. And that brings me to number 4, spontaneous intimacy, right? So you don't definitely want to be planning that. I made this mistake. Now I am a schedule, rule following, meticulous person. And at one point I made a mistake. I put it on the calendar, but it was not, I promise you, it was not to schedule intimacy. It was to track how often, this was years ago, it was to track how often it was actually happening. You know what I mean? And when my wife found out, she was not happy. She was like, what? You schedule intimacy? You know what I'm saying? And I was like, no, I'm tracking it. You know what I mean? It seems to happen on a Wednesday. You know what I mean? So I'm just expecting that it's going to happen. You know what I mean? But if I was being intentional, it would have happened anytime I wanted. You know what I mean? But I wasn't being intentional. So that's a little nugget there. But, you know, you definitely want to make sure that you're being spontaneous. Number 5, you want to set clear non-negotiables. So there's a book by, I can't even think. Gary Keller, right? Gary Keller. And I think he talks about non-negotiables, you know, so I have a real estate license. I'm a realtor also by trade. And so that's one of the things that I noticed is that by having non-negotiables, it makes things more important in your life, more pivotal, and it's easier to get things done because having a non-negotiable in my relationship, like by a certain time I'm off the phone, or by on this day for me and my wife, every Saturday we go get coffee. Nothing else is stopping that. I won't work on it. I won't work that day. I won't work a job. I won't do nothing on that Saturday because that's my non-negotiable. You know what I mean? So as a man or as anyone, as a leader, as the person that runs your life, you gotta be able to be in control and say no to things and have a non-negotiable. Number 6, you gotta be to embrace mutual growth. So you wanna support each other's growth. So if, let's just say for my case, I'm building a YouTube channel, I'm building a business, right? My wife, at the end of the day, I'm gonna do a video on it. She just bought this. I don't know if you know what it is. You can guess what it is. If you zoom in, you might know what that is. But she bought this, right? And that's something that's going to go towards my journey for this YouTube podcast, the ATD letter, everything that I'm building. Invested in me, and I invest in her all the time. Things that she's doing. You know what I mean? There's tons of things that we invest in one another. She tells me she wants to be an herbalist and wants to learn more about herbs and I buy her a book on it. You know what I mean? I give her a class on it. Or I don't give her a class. I buy a class on it. That's embracing her journey and helping build towards our mutual growth. Because if she grows, I grow. And that brings me to number 7, maintaining our individuality. You have to remember when you got with that person, there was a reason why you got with them. When my wife got with me, I was a fit guy, right? I got the muscles or whatever, right? I stayed in the gym, not just for her, but more importantly for myself, because that's what brought her to me. That was something that was about me, that was discipline. You know what I mean? And so no matter what, I do that. So if I was interested or cared that she always wear makeup, and that's what brought me to my attention. And that's not something I'm not a makeup person. You know what I mean? It's another thing, another little nugget. I don't really care for makeup, but my wife does an excellent job at doing like what's called a everyday beat. So you don't even notice it. So I appreciate that. And I appreciate those talents. that she has. You know what I mean? But you got to appreciate that she's spontaneous with taking trips and all the things. Everything that I'm not, she is. So it's a good yin and yang, a good balance. You see what I'm saying? Number 8, maintain open communication. So having honesty and transparency, having those 15 minutes of conversation on a day-to-day basis opens up the window and the door opportunities to have a complete transparent marriage where less things that haven't been said and unspoken truths. So learn and speak love languages. I'm pretty sure you've read the book, you've heard a little bit about it, but I urge you to do and learn your partner's love languages, because if you learn their love language, then you'll know why maybe buying a book isn't more important than spending time, because they like acts of service and quality time versus getting a gift. You know what I mean? Or, you giving them words of affirmation and they're more of an affection person. They want touch. You know what I mean? So you have to understand and learn those things, because how else can you be the best helpmate, the best counter to your person that you with? So you want to engage in shared learning. So my wife and I, years ago, we got our real estate licenses together. You know what I mean? We've done various things over the years to build businesses or just build together. And that growth and that adversity brought us even closer together, because I understand how she works and she understands how I work wholeheartedly. So you got to focus on the physical connection. And I'm talking about regular intimacy, but I'm more so talking about the touch, the affection, the playful kissing and touching throughout the day. When you're younger and you're in high school or just, first getting that spark, what do? You're always touching and all over each other. And that's what keeps it, young and keeps it fresh. And if you don't use it, you'll lose it. And that's definitely what happened. If you ain't touching one another every day in some way, form, or fashion, showing some kind of affection, you grow up to be that old couple that sleeps in the bed separately, or has no problem sleeping alone and not caring about where their spouse is. You know what I mean? Like, to each his own. But if you're trying to keep that love and connection, there's no way to do that. And celebrating the achievements, even down to the smallest things, a promotion at work, finishing a book, getting a new recipe done. For me, I got this 1045 challenge. Guys, you want to go ahead and join the 1045 challenge, get you in shape, get your mind right, get your body right, and get your money up.
It's okay. I'll show them. We will show them all.
What's up, guys? So the 1045 challenge is a challenge that will change your life in 45 days. It's a mind, body, spirit challenge. It'll take you from being unfit to fit. It will take you from being out of alignment to alignment, and it will help you to be more focused on your goals. So take the challenge and join me. Starts today. Right? Free challenge. Just a little shameless plug there. But if you do that, right, if you do challenges, when I do my daily challenge and I hit my daily reps in the exercises, right, my wife, oh, you did your 100, you did your 380, whatever it is that I'm supposed to do, she's my biggest cheerleader and supporter, and vice versa. She finishes the book, oh, good job. That's who you with for the rest of your life. So that's who should be supporting you. With all of those 13 level up, game changing tips I gave you, there are some challenges that you're going to come along the way, but those tools will help you in fighting those challenges. These will definitely help you to work more as a team. So you want to make sure you have goals for growth. Picture a compass, using a compass for your goals for growth. You want to enhance your communication and support one another no matter what. So here's the AAR, your move. Forge your epic love story. Reflect on these 13 action strategies and identify areas in your marriage or partnership that need more attention and effort. Which two practices resonate with you? Together, you can build a partnership that's surviving, flourishing, filled with love, respect, and joy. Strengthen a relationship lies in the willingness to grow and adapt each other through every season of life. If y'all didn't notice, I changed the ATD letter this week, right? And I also changed the title of the unload sessions. So unload session is what I actually do. So now I call the video portion the ATD Chronicles, and the written representation is the ATD letter. I like to know what you think, what comments you got. Please leave some comments. I know how many people have thought about saying, like, I want a divorce, or they think they chose the wrong person. Have a real conversation. Let's talk about it. I appreciate you coming through and listening to me chop it up with y'all for the ATD Chronicles. The road ahead is long and hard. No place for the weak. You must be a warrior. Attack the day.